Young Sherlock on Prime Video follows 19-year-old Sherlock Holmes, hero Fiennes Tiffin, as he looks into his first case, but the entire season is filled with unexpected turns. Young Sherlock, which is based on Andrew Lane's book series, centers on a detective who was recently released from prison and sent to Oxford by his brother, Mycroft Max Irons. Even though Sherlock works as an employee to help teachers and clean the school rather than as a student, his sharp mind still has an impact. There, he meets Princess Shoan Zine Sang, who has just arrived, and James Moriarty, Donald Finn, a student with whom he immediately connects and demonstrates his exceptional intelligence. After being set up, Sherlock becomes a main suspect in the Oxford murder of a teacher. In their quest to clear the latter's name and identify the teacher's killer, James and Sherlock unearth horrible secrets about Sherlock's father, Silas Joseph Fiennes, as well as the truth about Shoan and Holmes' family. Important documents belonging to Chinese royalty are brought to Oxford by Shoan. Since Sherlock and James had broken into university library the night before after attending a party, the events of young Sherlock start with the theft of these documents and Sherlock being set up for it. Shoan quickly recognizes Sherlock's genius and lets him and James look into the case, not realizing that they will discover her whole scheme. It turns out that Shoan concealed the documents in the library and they weren't stolen. This is meant to serve as a diversion, as she plans to set off a bomb hidden behind the library's walls, which would kill everyone in the room next to it. All of Oxford's teachers are there at the event honoring Professor Bucephalus Hodge Collinforth for the new building. Even though Sherlock and James discover this in time to save everyone, Shoan's schemes continue as she murders Professor Thompson and sets Sherlock up. Following their escape from prison with James' assistance, Sherlock and James learn that Shoan is pursuing a group of professors that includes Thompson, Malloc, Roberts, and Enright. Despite their best efforts, they are unable to save the last two. Sherlock and James also learn the truth about Shoan. She is an imposter and a member of a gang that abducted the princess as she was traveling to Oxford. When the fictitious Shoan, a young woman from a Chinese town in the Gansu corridor, returns one day, she discovers that everyone is dead, including her parents. Isad Kasgarli, Numanakar, a man from Constantinople, then enlists Shoan and gives her the opportunity to exact revenge by killing Malloc, the murderer, who discovered a mineral on their property that he subsequently used to create a lethal weapon. The British government, who also employed Mycroft, funded the program to produce that weapon, which was overseen by Hodge, who was subsequently deceived by Malloc, who sold the weapon. Mycroft was unaware of this dubious enterprise. Teachers Thompson, math, Roberts, engineering, and Enright, meteorologist, also contributed to the development of this weapon. Shoan discovers that Isad has been taking advantage of her. Nevertheless, when Isad later informs her that they will no longer kill Malloc and that her work is finished. Later on, Shoan, Sherlock, and James discover that Isad and Malloc have been collaborating. Weapon, Cordelia's mental state, and Beatrice's death. Sherlock and Mycroft are informed by Cordelia that there's a man with the bird claw. Mycroft later discovers that this man is Malloc because his cane has a bird claw. It turns out that Cordelia is correct when she claims that whatever she says is heard by the walls, since all of her talks are stored in a different location, and there's a recording device behind one of the walls. Silas is the one responsible for all of that. He orchestrated Beatrice's death in order to break Cordelia and send her to a mental facility, where he paid for her to be constantly drugged in order to give the impression that she was mentally unstable. Silas did all of this in order to seize control of Cordelia's riches, which he possessed prior to their marriage. Prior to Beatrice's death, Silas was struggling financially, but he was able to turn things around thanks to the trust money Cordelia's father left for Sherlock and Mycroft. Later, with Isad and Malloc's assistance, Silas planned to sell Malloc's chemical weapon, the treason Hodge had referenced when confronting Malloc, to the French. This lethal chemical weapon is meant to be employed in armed situations in order to kill more people without the use of weapons. Silas intended to construct a rocket ship with the assistance of the other professors so they could quickly disperse the chemical. Ultimately, Shoan destroys Silas' lab, as was previously reported, but his ambitions may not be over yet. Even in his last moments, Silas continued to lie to his family on a regular basis for years. Now that everyone is against him, including Beatrice Hollycattle, Silas attempts one more ruse. Sherlock and Beatrice are prepared to murder Silas, since they have nowhere to flee and are perched on a precipice. But Sherlock believes he should be held accountable for his acts. After a scuffle in which Silas lets go of Sherlock to allow himself to tumble off the cliff, Silas takes Sherlock. This scene is similar to the well-known Sherlock versus Moriarty altercation at Reichenbach Falls, when it's thought that both men leap to their deaths in a physical altercation. Silas may be deceiving his family by pretending to be dead, as it is ultimately shown that Sherlock lived and Moriarty passed away. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.